Hello guys, my name is Justine Christopher A, Computer Engineering at Mapua Institute of Technology, Manila, Philippines. In this video, I'm going to teach you the basics of push front using lists. A push front inserts an element at the beginning of the list. If we want to add an element at the beginning of the list, we're going to use a push front. So let's get it started. First, we're going to declare the libraries that are needed for the program. We're going to include, of course, the R string. And for the list, we're going to need list. And then we're going to include an iterator for the push front. So for the basics, we're going to need an identifier for the list. This is the identifier for the list, and then we're going to name our variable. I'm going to name my variable lst1 and add a little something to 100. So this means in my list I'm going to add 100 on it. So basically my list contains 100, 100, 100. Next, an identifier for the iterator and the name of the iterator. I'm going to name it ID. For using the push front, we're going to type the name of the object of the list, which is lst1, right? So lst1, cover it. That, since we're using push front, we have just type push front. And inside this parenthesis, we're going to type an element that we want to add on the beginning of our list. Let's say I want to add 300 at the beginning of this list, so I'm going to type 300. Now let's see the output. My list contains this. To make a list, we're just going to make an iterator. For loop, and then the name of the iterator is it. It's just typing it equals to the name of the list. The variable is lst1. That begin, and then it is not equals to name of the variable of the list is lst1 that end, and then the it plus plus. For every push front, we're just going to need this for loops. The name of the iterator, the name of the variable that begin, name of iterator is not equal to the name of the variable that end, and the name of the iterator plus plus. And then I'm going to output the list. Of course, since this is an iterator, we're going to add the asterisk it is the name of the iterator. Now let's see the output. System Greater than 0. There we go. My list contains 300, 100, 100. There's two 100 here because I told them to add two 100 on the list. So that's the basic of the push front. So now we're going to make another program, and in this program I want to make a countdown that starts from 9 up to 0, using push front, of course. So we're just going to edit this out. I'm going to name my new variable my list, or whatever you want to name your variable. My list. And then we're going to add a new identifier and a variable is in I, and then just going to cut this out for a while. Now we're going to use a for loop again for the countdown, which is I equals to 0 I. That means my I will start from 0. Then I is less than 10. Then I slash slash. That means since I have 0 for the I, and then it's less than 10, right? If it's less than 10, it's going to add 1. So now my I will be 1. And then here we're just going to paste the push front. And instead of 300, we're going to replace this with I. That means it's going to input the last value of the countdown at the front of the list. And now for the output. Of course, the iterator is the name of the variable is mylist now. Mylist begin it not equals mylist dot end, and the name of the iterator it slash slash, and output asterisk the name of the iterator is id. Then let's see the result. There we go. Now start from 9 up to 0. If you haven't used the push front, it will start from 0 up to 9. Oh, and one more thing. There's a thing called the pushback. A pushback is very different from push front. Yeah, it's the opposite of push front actually. Because pushback, instead of inserting the element at the beginning of the list, it will insert at the end of the list. Now let's see what's the result if I replace the push front with pushback. There. Start from 0 up to 9. So that's it. That's the basic of a push front. And again, here's the credits. I would like to thank Google for helping me out in this project, and of course the Visual Studio 2013 in C++.com. It really helps in the creator shop. It's where I download the free to screen to video so I can make this video tutorial, and of course my professor in programming, Mr. Engineer Eric Navarro. Thanks for watching.